Welcome, Debz Cooper, Global Stressologist. Thank you for joining me today. And as you'll notice, I have a very different background. I'm in a different environment today. I am a little bit further south to catch up with my daughter. So, hence the different background. So, thank you for joining me today on top tips to dissolve the impossible pursuit of perfection. I would love to know where you are here in this world, if you're here live or if you're here watching a replay. Thank you very much. So, oh my God, top tips to dissolve the impossible pursuit of perfection. Now, even just saying that, that's the nicest way I can say it, because this is one of the most common things that people do, and it keeps you stuck and you beat yourself up mentally so much that you don't take action. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about right now, because we all do it. We all do it. You're not the only one. You're human, but I just want to let you know that you're human and everybody does it. So step one, everybody has perfection. Let me just see if I can get this. This keeps telling me something. Everyone has a perfectionism somewhere in their life. Somewhere in this world, you have a level of perfectionism. So if we were to break that down, it actually sits under things that are important to you. So it's only the things that are a high priority, important to you, that's where your perfectionism sits. Meaning, if I go to, for example, we'll go to cleaning. Now, it's not that I don't think cleaning is important, cleaning the house, cleaning the office. I don't think it's important. I definitely delegate it, because if it's uninspiring for me to do, and I'll delegate it. So when I think about cleaning, I have a couple of amazing cleaners who come and do my areas. So when I think about, is it important to me? Yes, it is. So I'm delegating it, because it's not something that lights me up. And you'll know I've talked about glitter bombs before. So when we think about this, my question is, do I follow the cleaners around my home or my office? And the answer is no. Do I check when they leave that they've cleaned this and this and this and this and this thing? No. Do I trust them to do a job that I really value and like and know that there's a high standard? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because if I don't have that trust with people, then it's going to be very hard to maintain that relationship with them. So I do trust them. Yeah. My thing is, why let that brain chatter of others come into your head who think that it has to be done a certain way? So if it works for me, it works for them, great, I can step away from it. So I don't have that perfectionism in the cleaning. I just know it's going to get done to a high standard, or to my standard and to theirs, because we're all on the same wavelength. So thanks to my famous people. Am I allowed to say your name? Danielle and Holly, thank you. When it comes to perfectionism elsewhere, say, for example, my consultations, that is a high standard. I have a high standard of myself for that perfectionism, even just saying that word. So I do absolutely reflect and tweak if necessary. Absolutely reflect. I reflect on them all, and I tweak if necessary for the next one. Or if it's playing in my mind, I'll go back to them. If I think I've dropped something out of our original conversation. So definitely I will reflect, and it's really, really, really important to do that. So that's number one, is everyone has perfectionism. So acknowledge that. Yep, done. Number two is, it's important to reflect, but like I've said before, don't let that Pac-Man come into your head. Don't let that Pac-Man go and tell you, oh, this is really important to you. You need to be doing this. You should be doing this. You ought to be doing this. And that's that brain chatter that can explode in you. So what you're going to do is you're going to send that Pac-Man mentality away. Send it on its way. Boom, 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 boom. Away you go. See you later. Thanks very much. So you're now going to go, yeah, it's easy for you, Deb. You've done this before, and how many years have you been doing this, and you know how to send it away. So when you send it away, you must acknowledge it. Because you can't send something away without acknowledging it. And so if you think of it like a person, you can't see that person, and you know, back in the day, the kids used to I don't know if they still do, shut their eyes and pretend they can't see you. Well, actually, you can. So you can't not acknowledge them. So acknowledge it. Absolutely acknowledge that Pac-Man that's coming into your head. Thank it for what it is. Thank that Pac-Man going on, and then you're going to ask it to go away. And when you do that, you're going to go, I do things like, oh, away you go, I have this. And that's how simple it is. Away you go, I have this. And I often just go on my head, my finger, and I just go, and I'm sending it away. I don't know why I do my finger, but anyway, do your finger or don't. But it is so simple. Away you go, I have this. And it's actually sending it away with love. And it's a belief to yourself that you have whatever's going on in your head. And it's that whole trust that we've talked about. I'm going to talk about in a minute again. So you're just going to acknowledge it, thank it, and away you go, I have this. Away you go, I have this. And that is how simple it can be. And I tell you what, that Pac-Man will stop in your head if you have certainty that you're sending it away with love. You must send it away with love instead of going, away you go, you little beep, 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 and I'm going to do this, and you're going to take me. None of that, none of that, none of that, none of that. So send them away with love. Away you go, I have this. See, it can be simple. The third one I'm going to give you about the tips is it important? And I know I talked about the Pac-Man, and the Pac-Man can come from your voice, and it can come from others as well. So I've been brought up with a mother and father and a sister, and so I've heard my mother say things, and I've heard my father say things, and I've heard my sister say things. And sometimes we're all on the same track, and sometimes we're not, and that's totally okay. But what is the best part is actually to what's important to you. So is it important? And is it important to you or others? Because if it's important to others, you're going into a different mindset. You're now putting their priority over you. So is it important to me by doing this or not doing this? Whatever it is it important to me? And if it is, then I'm going to do it. If it's not, then why am I actually bothering about it? And if it's important to others, it's time to reflect how important they are in your world and the value they're giving you, so that there's that little bit of fair exchange, but also acknowledging them without just dumping them, saying, you're not important, I'm not going to do this because of you. So just be aware of that little Pac-Man mentality. The next one I'm going to talk about, and I know I said this before, and I talked about trust. And so trust is a really, really, really massive explosion, whatever you want to call in your head. So when I talk about trust, there's 3 levels of trust. There's trust in yourself. Ooh. Trust in others. Yep, we've all been burnt before. Yep, we've all had that. Trust in others. And then there's a trust in the universe. Ooh. So trust in yourself is really, really, really important. And my favorite saying is, you've all been through things before, and you'll get through it again, whatever level it is. So when you've been through tough times, remember that stuff. Who you were previously is not who you are now. Who I was at school is not who I was now. Who I was a year ago is not who I am. Even 6 months ago, even prior to this pandemic, I had an identity of traveling once a month to Australia. I haven't done that for so long, since 2020. So who I am previously is not who I am now. Who I am now is different to yesterday. I am this person right here, right now in front of you. So it's really important to trust yourself for those things you've had before. Trust others for what they've done. And when you trust others, it's just important to be aware. Yes, they've got a few things going on in their world, and know that they're going to make the decision that is best for them. So trusting others, yes, we're going to trust those ones. And then we're going to trust the universe that it's all going to work out in the best way possible for you and what it is. We don't know what's down that doorway. We don't know. When one door shuts, we go, when one door shuts, another one opens. Yes, and we want to have a glass door so we can actually just peek in there and see what that looks like. So be aware of that. Be aware that the universe has your back 100% all the time. You may not see it. You may not see it straight away, but it's definitely there. What do you think about that? That it's actually got your back more. Often we go through things, and then 6 months down the track we go, oh, thank goodness that happened to me. Phew, that happened because I can now do this, this, and this. Oh, I didn't even see it at the time. So just have that trust that the universe has your back. You don't have to go and do a lot of mindset research on that. It's that trust. One of the next one is another sickening one, and that's called, it starts with C. Anyone guess? It's actually comparing. So stop comparing to others. They have their genius, you have yours. Stop comparing yourself to others and go, oh, they've got all this money, I want that. Oh, they're really organized on their desk. Oh, they've got their drawers of their clothes are all folded. Stop comparing yourself to others. You are not them. They are them, you are you. It's really important to remember that, because the more we compare ourselves to others, the more we put ourselves down and in the pit. And that is where you get stagnant. It's just like when you're trying to go for perfection and you just can't do it. You actually get yourself stagnant. So stop comparing yourself to others. Acknowledge their genius. Send it on its way. That's great. You're really great at folding clothes. Would you like to fold mine? Oh, you're really great at organizing diaries. Would you like to manage mine? If that's what that lights them up and they have their glitter bombs from that, see what you can delegate to them. And then my next favorite one, it starts with G. Do we know what that one is? This is gratitude. And gratitude is incredibly important for everything around you. And we're grateful that there's some perfectionism in you, and it's really keeping you stuck or whatever it is. It's truthful to be grateful because it's alerted you to something that you're going to be wise to work on. Because if we're not grateful for it, it just comes back at another level. And that chaos just keeps going. And next thing you know, you've got Christmas tree tangled lights inside your brain. So be grateful for that stuff that's going on, because it is ultimately giving you something, to alerting you to something to work on. So remember that one. Now, I had a couple of people ask a couple of questions, so I'm just trying to get through here as quick as I can. And one of them was, thank you for your question, is about not starting for fear of failure. Ooh, and look, I've done it. I still do it. I go, oh, will I do this one? Oh, what if I do this? So you're human. So the steps for you, my lovely person who asked about not starting for fear of failure, and if anyone else has that, I'd love to know how many we've got in here, because I'm more than happy to do a big video on fears, and I can talk about hours of fears. So I'm kind of trying to crunch this down as quick as I can. So when you're not starting for fear of failure, you're acknowledging something that has happened in the past that you have seen or not seen, and you're holding on to it here in the current. And remember we talked about trust? Yeah, remember that. So you must love that failure. And know that there's been many failures before you right now. If we label it failures, I personally don't like the word failure. Just doesn't do it for me. So I relabel that failure as trying out. I'm going to try out this new game, or I'm going to try out this new shop, or I'm going to try out this new mentor, and or I'm going to try something out. Hang on a moment, we're just a little dog entertaining right now. And that would be Finn, the little vocal, having his input on that. So when we think about, thank you. Now, did I fail on that? No, I just tried out a new thing to see if my dogs could roam free as I do a live video. Classic. So remember that many have failed or tried out before. What do they say about the KFC man? He didn't start his business till late in life. You know, there's different things. There's footballers, there's basketballers. We all fail, if you want to label it fail, at some time in our life, and we're constantly doing that. So just use it as a trying out. I'm trying it out. Yeah, thanks, Rachel. He is cute. If you could see him, he was sitting on the back of the couch, actually. Probably enough for my daughter to be happy about that. But anyway, he's whipped away now. Cute Finny. So change that failure to trying out. It's just a little different mindset for you. So if you're not starting for fear of failure, your tips are love that failure. Remember that many have been there before, and change that wording failure to trial out. Trying it out. I'm just trying it out. or whatever word works for you, because it's just that little reframe that your brain goes, oh, okay, I can do this. The other question somebody mentioned or stated is their inability to work in a messy and disorganized environment. Oh, I understand that, because I love clean. I'm a bit of a clean freak, people call it, around you. So it is a challenge when you work in somebody else's environment, if that's really important to you. We talked about important. So you've got to remember, is this yours or others? So when we talk about others, remember your organization could be different to others. And so you can say to someone, you've got all these piles of paperwork. But if you ask that person for something, they can go, hang on a minute, it's 3/4 of the way through that fourth pile sitting there on the desk. And you're like, how do you know that? And they're like, I know that. So acknowledge their genius. Acknowledge that they may have stacks and stacks of paperwork sitting there, but they've got that genius that they know where all that stuff is. So remember that your organization can be different to others. So when I think about the inability to work in a messy or disorganized environment, I think about, what do you need? What do you need? What does that look like? And for me, I'm a firm believer on my glitter bombs. I talk about my glitter bombs. And so for me, it's about our smells. And if it's a nice smell, then I'm okay. If I'm in a cluttered environment and there's a beautiful smell around, it just stifles that cluttered environment that I don't see it anymore. So find out what your glitter bomb is and put that around you. You may be time-wise, so you may have to do quick things. You may have to do quick things to tidy up if you've got a meeting and you want to know where this is and this. Back in the day when I used to work for the city council, one of the things we used to do is we used to have a pile, and people would say, put the piles up, and I'd be like, oh, I can't do piles. But for me, I used to put a piece of coloured paper in between a bright fluoro pink piece of paper, which actually separated the things that needed doing and the tasks. For me, I also use these little folders. I'm just going to try and pull one out. These little folders here, these little plastic folders, and that's where my paperwork sits now for those things. And I can put and you can actually just see them a little bit clearer. So each pile has a little section divider. So that may be the things you've got to do, the quick things to do it. So be aware if it's your disorganized environment or if it's somebody else's. It just means it was never really important for you to have that done. But you know whatever's important to you, that's where your perfectionism is going to be, but it's actually because it lights up and you're not going to be so focused on it. There's only the unimportant stuff. So my last tip for you is, don't let perfectionism stand in your way of getting things done. The key is to try it and get moving. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, pivot and change it to something different. That is me as quick as I can talk today on top tips to dissolve the impossible pursuit of perfectionism, because you're never going to get it 101%. You're always going to want to change something if you let your mind go to it. So that is me signing off, over and out for today. Thank you very much. And thank you from Finn for joining us today. If you liked what you saw, if you liked this here, please share it, please comment, but please share it with people who you think would find value of it. If you'd like, I'll put my book a time with me in the comment section. I would love to have a chat if you've got some really brain noise chaos going on. You don't have to sit like this. Things can absolutely move. Don't sit in that stagnant space, because it's going to get worse. So that is Debz Cooper, over and out. And let's just smash that word perfectionism out of the water, and let's keep inspiring life. Thanks very much. Debz Cooper, Global Stressologist, signing off today. Bye.